What's going on, NBA 2K14 fans? It's Rashidi, your real 2K insider, and we're going to take a look at the Chicago Bulls and what their prospects are for remaining competitive in the wake of Derrick Rose's knee injury. He tore his meniscus in his right knee last night. He missed all of last season with the torn ACL in his left knee, so it's not looking good. I'm no doctor, and reports are not out yet because this was only announced today, but I'm guessing that Rose was probably favoring his right leg probably a bit over the last year, and he had a non-contact knee injury, so he's probably going to miss the entire year with the torn meniscus. Was struggling to play even with his health. He wasn't really up to speed. And this is really disappointing. A torn meniscus isn't as bad as a torn ACL, but it's still pretty bad and has like a 6-month recovery time. So I'm sure the Bulls will play it cautious and hold him out for the rest of the year. It's not likely that they'll be really pushing for the playoffs this year. I know they made it last year without Rose, but they also had Nate Robinson last year, and this year they do not. They've got Kirk Heinrich, who they had last year, but nobody behind him now because they were anticipating Rose being healthy for most of the year. Marquise Teague, who the team was trying to trade during training camp, I guess he inherits an actual role on the team now. He can't shoot to save his life. You can see this 41 three-point rating, so 68 mid-range is his best shooting rating. So he's really just he's not a shooter. He can finish at the rim, but your opponent's going to be playing very back on him. Really, the most you're really going to be able to get with him is transition buckets. Um, yeah, not too much to like about Teague aside from that. Decent defender, but Jesus, that the inside scoring and outside scoring is just atrocious. And he's a run-of-the-mill ball handler, decent passer, but again, going to be very difficult to get any kind of offense out of him when he's on the court. You're essentially going to be playing 4-on-5, so really, you're going to have to ride Kirk Heinrich for what he's worth. Heinrich he has the floor general signature skill, which really was I'd be interested to see. I haven't picked up next gen yet, but I'd be interested to see if he still has floor general in the next gen 2K, because really the only reason he has floor general is to make up for the fact that Derrick Rose doesn't have it, because in current gen you can only have 5 signature skills. In next gen you can have 7, and a bunch of skills were translated into personality trait things, and I think floor general is one of those. So I'd be interested to see if Heinrich still has it in next gen. So if somebody has next gen and can confirm, that would be cool. But Heinrich, obviously, I mean, the skills that he does have, pick dodger and charge card, are basically the two most useless skills in the game. So really, he just has floor general going for him. That's obviously not that good compared to all of Derrick Rose's skills, which are actually very good. In addition to all of his ratings. Heinrich offensively really isn't much beyond a three-point shooter. You can see him with a cold streak here, bringing him down to an 80, so he's not even that great of a three-point shooter right now. Very mediocre from the mid-range, not a great finisher at the rim. Basically, you need a clear path. I'm going to compare this Bulls team without Rose to a poor man's Grizzlies team. Heinrich being a very poor man's Mike Conley. And Mike James, I'm not sure if he's actually available on the active roster, but he's basically you'd probably be better off using him as a backup rather than Teague, just because of the three-point shooting. It's so difficult to use a point guard that isn't a three-point shooter. So let's, I guess, find out right now. All right, James is not on the active roster right now, so when I get into an online game, he will not be available to use. But once Rose goes on the inactive list, James will be on the roster, ready to be used in online games. So for now, we're just going to rock with Teague. And what am I doing? So looking at the rest of the Bulls, it's kind of ugly because clearly he was the star of the team. You've got Noah, Deng, Boozer, and Butler. Also Gibson as really your top guys after that. Another reason why the Bulls compare to the Grizzlies, I think, is they've gotten poor man's Grizzlies at least. Is they've got Noah and Boozer, who are basically a poor man's Marc Gasol and a poor man's Zach Randolph. Um, Boozer does have a solid mid-range shot, which I guess you're going to have to really use now that Rose is out, and he's your best post option. So you're going to be running your offense through Carlos Boozer right now. Uh, and Noah, not really much of an offensive player. He's got nice inside shot rating and a pretty good dunk rating. But aside from that, he's fairly limited. Not much of a post player, although he does have the post playmaker skill. That'll help a little bit with your three-point shooters. But for the most part, he's your defensive guy. You try to get offensive rebounds and putbacks with him, and leave the posting up to Boozer, who still has post proficiency. And Luol Deng, honestly, he's probably going to get traded at some point this year. He's a free agent at the end of the year. Contenders are going to be looking around at how they can improve their team. He's got an expiring contract, and the Bulls probably aren't going to bring him back due to luxury tax concerns. If they bring him back for a certain salary next year, the Bulls are in the luxury tax this season, and if they go into the luxury tax next season, they get hit with something called the repeater tax, the repeater tax, which basically enhances how much they would have to pay in luxury tax. And the Bulls are known to be kind of a cheap team. They have they've set their own payroll restrictions. They just are very adamant about not paying more than like $70 to $75 million a year for the team. So they're probably going to trade Deng so they can at least get something out of him, maybe a first round pick, like a low end first round pick, or I don't really know what's out there. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of trade rumors between now and February or whenever he gets dealt. But his 3-point shot has really been a weak spot for the last couple of years. He's only shooting 17% right now for the year. Only shot 32% last year, and aside from that, like these 3 years, is kind of not a very high volume 3-point shooter, so that's not something that I expect to go up anytime soon, especially with Rose out of the lineup. So he's got the cold streak, so he's a little bit offensively limited because he's only an average mid-range shooter, average 3-point shooter, not a good ball handler. He's kind of average at creating his own shots, so really he's got the lockdown defender. And he does have catch and shoot, which helps a little bit with the 3-point shot. It doesn't increase his percentage, but it gives you less of a penalty for late timing. But we all know that the game kind of really doesn't care about when your timing is in this game because you have tons of perfect release shots that just don't drop. So that's kind of a whatever thing. He's got a 75 3-point shot, and his signature skill is not going to do much to change that. He does have anti-freeze, so he's not going to go cold. But lockdown defender and his defensive attributes are really the only thing you're going to be getting out of him. And he's basically the Tayshaun Prince of the team, except Tayshaun Prince can actually hit threes. And Jimmy Butler is probably going to be... He's the small forward of the future on the team. He's the reason why the Bulls can't afford to trade Deng, because Butler's on such a cheap contract, and he's a natural small forward. Also a lockdown defender, so you still have a great perimeter defense. Again, similar to the Grizzlies, who rock with Tony Allen and Tayshaun Prince on the perimeter. But Butler is a decent 3-point shooter, actually a good 3-point shooter, and also a good finisher at the rim, high layup rating, high dunk rating. And aside from that, I mean, the Bulls, most of you guys who have used the Bulls in the past year, it's the same as last year when they were without Derrick Rose, except now you don't have Nate Robinson, who at least was a dynamic shot creator. And man, the Bulls look foolish for not re-signing him, because now they're essentially screwed. They really should be tanking now. Um, Tony Snell is eventually going to get a bigger role with the team. He's an all right 3-point shooter, backup shooting guard really for the team, shooting guard, small forward. Mike Dunleavy could get moved too, for all we know, because he joined the Bulls he thought he was joining a contender, and now do they really need him? He's only making $3 million a year, so he's certainly affordable for other teams. But right now, 93-point shot. Obviously, that's something that you're really going to need now with Rose out. It's going to be harder to create those open shots, though, because Kirk Heinrich is your primary point guard rather than Dunleavy. I mean, rather than Rose. So it's going to be tougher to get those wide open looks that he might have otherwise been getting. And aside from that, yeah, Taj Gibson is part of your 3 big man rotation. He's not much of a post player, at least in the video game, and he's got a good dunk rating, inside shot rating, but not much of a shooter with the 70 mid-range shot. And he does have posterizer, and he's the only big man in the game with lockdown defender, which is kind of weird. I'm not adverse to giving lockdown defender to big men, like for instance Ben Wallace would deserve lockdown defender, but I feel Gibson would be much more deserving of eraser because he's a very good shot blocker. But 2K, for whatever reason, has had him with lockdown defender for the last 2 years. We could see Gibson has an 86 block rating, so you definitely need him defensively. Nazim Muhammad can get some run because he's also a good shot blocker and rebounder. But for the most part, the 3 guys that you're going to want to be using are Boozer, Gibson, and Noah. So, and you still have the good thing about Butler and Deng is they have really high stamina ratings, so you can get away with a three guard rotation or 3 swingman rotation of Butler, Deng, and Dunleavy. And really, the big thing is, are you going to be able to create enough offense without without a dynamic point guard? Because they don't have Rose and they don't have Nate Robinson this year. It's just Heinrich and a bunch of scrubs. And we can see, let's really quickly check the handle ratings for the team, wherever they are. There we go. So Rose 97, Heinrich 91, Teague 86, Mike James 81. So Heinrich and Teague are really the only 2 capable of creating their own shot. Mike James a little bit, but where's speed and quickness? Quickness, we can see Mike James 75. He ain't creating shit. And Kirk Heinrich 81. That's actually pretty low for a point guard. Decent for a shooting guard, but low for a point guard. Marquise Teague has a 94 quickness, but again, he can't shoot for anything, so it's not like players are going to be defending him tight. They can they can definitely keep up with him off the dribble because they're going to be playing so far back on him. And where is speed? They have everything out of order in this. So Mike James, oh my gosh, 72 speed. That is awful for a point guard. So it actually might make him unusable. Certainly defensively, you're going to have a lot of trouble keeping up with some of the quicker guards in the league. You might even consider having to make Mike James a shooting guard. Really, Teague and Heinrich are what you're looking at. And Heinrich is slow himself, 78 speed. So this is a team that without the speed of Rose or Nate Robinson, they are going to be very difficult to use. So let's get into an online game and see if I can get anything out of them. Really, I'm probably going to try and use the Bulls as a post-up team with Boozer and try and feature them, because when you go through the post, you don't need a dynamic point guard. You more or less just dump it in and go to work. And then if they double team, you can kick it out, and that's how you'd be able to utilize Heinrich properly, because it's going to be very difficult for you to take people off the dribble with him. And our opponent wants to pick the Magic. Don't worry, buddy. It's going to be a fair fight. Rock with them penny jerseys to celebrate the Derrick Rose becoming the next Penny Hardaway. So my opponent's 2-0. He plays off ball 42% of the time, so I might be able to get some easy points out of that. I'm taking Rose out. I'm not going to use him at all because I just want to see how this is going to be affected whenever 2K gets around to updating their injuries. So yeah, this is going to be so brutal. Another good thing for the Bulls is Heinrich does have a high stamina rating, so you can limit the court time of Marquise Teague. But you are a bit thin at the two-guard position. You might have to use Tony Snell. You know, the Bulls are a team. Thibodeau likes to use his starters quite a bit. Deng and Butler have been known to average 40 minutes. Noah did too as well last year at certain points. He was averaging 40 minutes. So that's something that you definitely need to do now. You need to call timeouts and really keep your best five in as much as possible because you don't have much depth at all, really. Ooh. All right, I think our opponent's going to be playing off ball with his point guard most of this game. So I'll see if I'm able to take advantage with Heinrich. Pop Makala. And Les Mavis, can you post in the video or in the comments rather who's in that real GM trade? Because I tried following the link and it didn't give me anything. It just brought me to the trade checker screen. So yeah, the Bulls ain't getting Kevin Love. Timberwolves aren't going to trade him. They're for sure going to do everything in their power to lock him up long term. Now that what's his name is gone, David Kahn is gone, they may have a chance. Really depends on what they do this year. Kind of fortunate that that Heinrich was able to get into the paint. The Magic are not a very good interior defensive team. Nor are they a good interior scoring team. Part of that is because Nikola Vucevic and one has a 25 vertical rating. And vertical rating is one of those, probably one of the more underrated stats in this game. The reason being is all those athleticism ratings, they're what drive animations. And players with a high vertical rating are going to be able to grab offensive rebounds and block shots easier than players with low vertical ratings. So even though Vucevic has a high offensive rebound rating, that's not Deng's shot. It's going to... See right there, we grabbed another rebound over Vucevic. Whoop. Ugh. Ooh. Who's that, Maxiel? Because he's the only shot blocker that they have. Alright, I'm going to call timeout. Oh, man. Oladipo keeps getting them steals. So, gotta be mindful of that. Yeah, that was the silliest inbound pass ever. And Heinrich is not very well equipped to handle Oladipo, who's now on fire. Great. Give me that. Delayed shot block. Alright, let's bring in Dunleavy. Go small a little bit against the Magic, because they can't really make us pay. And I'm going to bring in Teague. Yeah, he's playing the off-ball thing is what's getting me some interior points, fortunately. Alright, a little bit of a comeback to end the first quarter. Only down 5 now. It's going to be a struggle. This is just the magic. Goaltending? Or did we stop that? We stopped that. All right. And let's bring Heinrich back. Stop the fast break. Where's Boozer? There we go. Aflalo's actually not a good three-point shooter, so I don't mind him launching. I had the misfortune of using the Magic in one of my earlier streams, and I had no idea that Aflalo's only a 76 three-point shooter, and even worse is his 66 mid-range shot, even though he shot like 40% last year from mid-range. That's a very bad mid-range rating. And I was taking mostly open shots, or I would say 90% of my shots were open, and I shot 7 for 19 from the field. So that's definitely a killer, his ratings. So let him shoot, let him take that all day. He's not going to hit it all that often. There he is again, but he misses this time. And we've got a fast break. This should be 2 points. And I'm going to try out Snell, wherever he is. There he is. Give me the lane. Wow. It's on Levy stripped. Yeah, fun fact, Oladipo has a 46 ball security rating. So if your opponent puts him at point guard, reach all day. 46 is really bad. Oladipo's been a turnover machine this year. And you can see he's struggling with this dribble. He's a good rebounder, all right passer, and he's a good athlete. But for the most part, I don't think he makes a good point guard. He gives me the lane again. I think he definitely would be better served having what's his name out there, Jameer Nelson. Tony Allen has a 40-something ball security rating, and you can't bring the ball up. Like, if you hold the turbo button and you bring the ball up, if anybody bumps into you, you're going to lose it. And it's such a hindrance. Fortunately, the Bulls don't have anything like that to deal with. They have enough right now. That's pretty much the only offense you're going to be able to get with Marquise Teague, is cuts like that. Give me that block, man. Whoa. The hell? And I think we're doing well to just be hanging in here. I've committed some of my turnovers turned into fast break dunks, and that's where his advantage comes from at the moment. Ooh, he's going to the line. Whatever is worth a shot. Alright, so we're holding for one shot. And good, he lets me get Heinrich back in. Oh, wow, that was my board. It popped out. Alright, shot 61%, but was only able to hit one of my threes. 61%, and we're down 7. So the struggle is real. Come on. Oh no. What kind of bullshit is that animation? Some fake out free throw crap. So now that actually adds a dilemma to the team. Unless you can shoot free throws with Carlos Boozer, you're not going to be able to run your offense through him. And he's got one of the more tricky releases in the game for a couple years now. Oh, bad pass. He was sitting on it. that was almost a steal. Come on, the computer shaded over way too much with Noah. I'm a little surprised I didn't come down with that offensive board. I had possession. Airball. So at least we still got Butler running the break. He's the closest thing to an athlete you've got on this team now at the guard spot. Lag. Bad shot, but it drops. Another offensive board I thought I should have gotten. Oh, come on, man. That fortunately rattles in, but I can't stand when shit like that happens. Yeah, okay. Oladipo ain't no superstar. Lagalicious. That was clutch. Finally got a 3 to drop. Yeah, no, you could take him with Harkless, please. Yeah, that was a bad charge attempt by me. I should have put in Heinrich for the last possession of the quarter. In his fucking face, man. Alright, he gets a little fortunate there. Alright, my bigs are good to go. Let me just ride with Gibson a little bit and bring them in at the next break, just so I don't have to worry about their stamina going towards the end of the game. Ooh. Okay. If you smell... I'll stop. Don't mind that. Inbound, come on. And Deng keeps draining these awful releases that I'm putting together with him. But they keep leaving him open off my pick and rolls, so they keep dropping. And I'm going to ride the hot hand for a little bit. Stick with Deng. You can always bring back Dunleavy later on in the fourth, especially if I need a 3, which I might. Oh, wow! Can't get a defensive board today. Good defense. But he recovers it. Why would you set the pick on the left-hand side? Or the right-hand side? There's no spacing if you're doing it that way. Chill. Oh, he didn't run. Heinrich? Alright, I need to get Butler back in for defensive purposes. Probably could have brought him back in a little earlier. I'm just not fast enough. I'm running over to Oladipo, but he's just stuck in quicksand. And I may need a 3. Oh my fucking god, man. That animation is so stupid. Foot on the line anyway. Come on, dang jump. Oh my god. Did you guys see the computer Taj Gibson just let him go? Oh my god. Thank you, finally. Oh. Pass the ball. Oh my god. These controls are such a joke. Pass the ball! What are you doing? No steal on Oladipo. Give me a steal or a foul in those situations, man. Alright, he's giving me an open three. And you stop pressing? What is wrong with this fucking game? Wow. You're gonna wait until we're down one to just decide to stop pressing? Wow. The computer in this game is such trash. Holy shit. Alright, so that's the Bulls without Derrick Rose. Offensively, it's a struggle. My opponent dropped 32 with an honestly overrated Victor Oladipo. But we shot 60%, ended up hitting 42% of our threes, had 9 turnovers, but also 25 assists. So overall, pretty good numbers. I mean, obviously not having Derrick Rose was the deciding factor in that game. Defensively is actually where we struggled the most because Heinrich is pretty slow for a point guard. With Derrick Rose, you're using Heinrich at shooting guard a lot. So having Heinrich matched up with Oladipo, he was able to blow by into the lane for a couple dunks here and there, and that definitely hurt. And the Bulls are also not they're not a good team at getting steals. We only had 4 for the game, despite the low ball security of Oladipo. I've noted this before in a previous stream that the Bulls, I think Heinrich is their highest rated stealer with 73? 69, 69, never mind. But that's not a good steal rating. Let me see if I can find anybody else. Okay, Butler has 75, and that's the most you're going to get out of them. $69 for Noah, yeah. So even though we moved the ball, it took everything really could to get this far. Butler missed a lot of open shots. Never really was able to get his timing down on his release. Probably some frequent Bulls users would be able to get that done, and wasn't able to post up with Boozer as much as I would have liked, just because he was double teaming in the post a lot, and a lot of the post entry passes get lollipopped in. But Heinrich did all right, 10 points, 7 assists, but didn't create much off the dribble. At least, coming off the pick and roll, he's no threat to finish at the rim. So it's basically kick out to a shooter. Deng was able to hit them. Butler was not. Dunleavy was able to hit him too, but for the most part, it was just Deng. Gibson did a little bit. Noah didn't really, surprise. I could have sworn that we didn't even have this many offensive rebounds, but there were a lot of times where Noah rebounded the ball, and I think that's why he's 1 for 4. We rebounded the ball, and he was just blocked right away. Weren't able to get any easy offensive rebound points, so that hurt a little bit. But for the most part, I mean, that's the Bulls without D Rose. Defensively it could have been better, but offensively I don't think it really could have been played all that much better, and we only got 78 points. So it's the struggle is real. Bulls fans, I would suggest finding a new team to use online. This is probably the last time you're going to see someone actually use the Bulls online, at least once D Rose gets placed on the IR. Right now, if you want to use D Rose, this is really the only time you're going to have this year. So today's November 23rd. Get your Rose gaming in while you can. So I hope you guys liked the content of this video. Thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for my future streams. Might do one on the Grizzlies, who are now without Marc Gasol for an extended period of time. He fortunately didn't tear his MCL. He only sprained it, I believe. So he's out indefinitely, and the Grizzlies they're in deep without him, because Kostakufos is really the only backup center that they have. Aside from, you can use Ed Davis, but it makes the Grizzlies a lot more thin up front. I think you might have to use John Lure, if that's how you say his name, at the power forward spot. So we might look into how the Grizzlies can overcome that. Don't think they'll be able to, because Gasol's signature skills are really one of the things that keeps that team together. He does have defensive anchor. He was Defensive Player of the Year. So while it's not the same impact that losing D Rose has, and probably not for the entire season, like D Rose will be, but they're going to be in a tough spot, and they may end up missing the playoffs because the West is just that deep that Losing one of your star players for an extended period of time could place you out of the playoff picture very quickly. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll keep you posted. Follow me on Twitter at Real2KInsider, or subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you'll be updated on whenever I'm releasing rosters or streaming nifty online content like this. So thanks again for watching, and have a